Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with another goofy-ass article this time from the New York Post. This is dated April 9th, and if this, whatever, we get out of the damn way. So Scrabble makes historic change to game with less competitive, inclusive version to appeal to Gen Z. And I saw this and I was like, oh god, what did they do? Like, really? I mean, Scrabble's not exactly like a massively difficult game to begin with, so you're going to make it less competitive. What are you doing? Just taking out scoring? Like, I mean, that's literally like the only thing you can do. Or is it just like there's only certain, we're going to give you a cheat sheet of all the words you can use. We're going to give you a certain letter. Like, what is that? I mean, in Gen Z, come on, guys. Like, grow a pair. I mean, seriously. But let's go ahead and see what this article has to say. It says this is a game changer. It says, for the first time in 75 years, Mattel is making a major change to the iconic board game Scrabble and touting a no more scoring gameplay. So they are doing that. So what's the point of playing that? It's like, let's go play Scrabble. So how do you win the game? You actually don't. You just put letters, you put like these little wooden letters down on a board to spell a word. Okay, but like, do you win? No. That's all you do. So what's the point then? I have no idea. Like, that makes no sense to do that. Like, I have no idea what they were thinking. Like, somebody goes to Mattel and is like, hey, I want to have this option, or we should make an option in Scrabble or in any game, it should be, that we just don't want there to be scoring. We just want people to enjoy the time. It's like, but that's literally all there is to do in this game is you make a word, you get points for making the word. That's it. I mean, and like you can see the Scrabble board here. They're going to take off every single one of these colors on there so that it's just a regular, like, what is that, like a beige type color on their board, and every single square is just beige, and we're just going to put letters down on there. Who the hell wants to play that? I mean, legitimately, like, I'm asking, who the hell wants to play a game where it's like you can't actually do anything? Like, you're just spelling words. That's it. We're done. Like, that's the whole thing. Anyway, like, I'm perplexed by this. It says the new launch is a double-sided version of the famous board game, one side with the original game for those who want to stick to the long-time traditional version, and one side with a less competitive version to appeal to Gen Z gamers. Okay, I mean, but still, like, who would, like, now that you have both options, who would want to play the one that's just no scoring? Okay? Like, again, you're going into the game and you're going, okay, well, there's two versions to play. We're going to play one where we're just going to put little pieces of wood with letters on them on a blank board and not actually, we're just going to spell words. The other one is a game that we can play competitively and someone's actually going to win because you have to be strategic and think about where you're placing things. Which one would you rather play? I mean, seriously. God. As the flip side of the classic game called Scrabble Together will include helper cards, use a simpler scoring system. Also, there will be scoring, okay. Be quicker to play and allow people to play in teams. Okay, I mean, that's still kind of like, all right, that's kind of, I don't mind if people play in teams in it. I mean, that's totally fine. I guess that wasn't part of the rules originally. I haven't played Scrabble itself in a long time, but I played Words with Friends, which is essentially Scrabble, up until maybe about like a decade ago. I just kind of stopped playing because I was just like, yeah, whatever anymore. So the makers of Scrabble found that younger people, Gen Z people, don't quite like the competitive nature of Scrabble. Giles Brandreth, who co-hosts the language podcast Something Rhymes with Purple, told BBC Radio 4 today. They want a game where you can simply enjoy language, words, being together, and having fun creating words. Nobody does that. Who does that? Who? Like, where did you hear this from? Like, I can't imagine people are just like, let's just sit down at a games board and just spell words out. And just hang out spelling words and creating words. Who does that? I'm asking honestly, who the hell does that? So it says Scrabble Together is marketed for those who find the classic game to be intimidating or for people who have ever thought word games aren't for me. Well, if word games aren't for you, why are you going to play a word game even if there is no scoring? Like, I guess this might actually be the board. It doesn't look like there's anything on any of those. It's just like a fancy looking board. But again, like, okay, so you put these words down here and somebody goes, oh, I spelled a word. It's like, okay, the next person goes, and you're going to spell a word. Okay, you're done. Next person goes. There's no like, okay, we need to count up to see how many points you got from that. Oh, Bob is winning. How about that? Again, I am so perplexed by this. The Scrabble has truly stood the test of time as one of the most popular board games in history, and we want to ensure the game continues to be inclusive for all players. Ray Adler, Vice President, Global Head of Games for Mattel, said in a statement to the Post, yeah, you're about to kill your game. Okay, no one in reality is going to go do this. I mean, Jesus Christ. It says, for anyone who's ever thought word games aren't for me or felt a little intimidated by the classic game, Scrabble Together mode is an ideal option. Nobody's felt intimidated by the classic game. Okay, nobody. So Scrabble Together mode continues to celebrate the wonder of words just as the classic version does, but thanks to its exciting new cooperative and dynamic gameplay, it's more accessible and brings people together. It says, however, some naysayers objected to the changes, calling it Scrabble for snowflakes and woke Scrabble on X. I wouldn't necessarily say it's woke Scrabble, but Scrabble for snowflakes probably sounds more accurate. I mean, Jesus. And even these cards that they're having played create this. Like, again, why? The whole point of Scrabble was to use your freaking brain, not to be helped out by other things. I mean, again, I just fall back on my what the hell. So it says no more scoring. So what's new exactly? In addition to a dual-sided board, there are helper cards which provide assistance, prompts, and clues, and can be selected to match the player's challenge level of their choice. In the new version, scoring is a thing of the past. Now all one has to do is finish a goal and collect the goal card. Oh, so you are still competing. It's just not as, I guess what, comprehensive? Maybe that's the word, as the original Scrabble, but someone can still win. Okay, so it says gold cards include challenges such as play a horizontal word, play a 3-letter word, or play a word that touches the edge of the board. I mean, like, how about, was there going to be a gold card and then it says pick up a letter and place it on the board? I mean, like, what is this? Like, this is for like a 5-year-old. It says the player who completes 20 challenges is the winner, while the player who used all their helper cards without completing a challenge is the loser. So, okay. Again, there is still a way to win, which I get, it's kind of the point. You're competing. You're not just putting words on a board and like, okay, we're done. So there's still competition, but it's kind of weak. Okay, it feels like participation trophy Scrabble. It says, once 20 goal cards are completed, the game is over. That's it. Okay, so that's lame. But anyway, Mattel says the new protocols and scoring, no need to do math for each turn, will offer shorter games. But I think part of them having longer games is just that's part of what it was. It's like baseball. Like, just there's going to be longer games that, you can't help it. Sometimes there's going to be shorter games, but you get to hang out with everybody. That's the part that makes it fun. Okay. Says the game speaks to a trend in younger people who want to avoid competitive games because they're weak people. Says instead favoring teamwork and collaboration, working towards a fun goal together. Brent Smitherham, current UK #1 and 2016 World Scrabble champion, said in a statement. It says, word games aren't for me. It says a Mattel spokesman, or spokesperson, I'm sorry, I misgendered this spokesperson that they haven't identified, has told CNN that Scrabble Together will soon be available in Europe, but won't be available in the US since it doesn't hold licensing in America. Good, keep it out of the damn country. We don't need your Scrabble Together. It says Hasbro produces Scrabble in the US and Canada. Oh, I didn't know that. It says, while we don't have any plans for an update in the US, we love the idea of different ways to play Scrabble and continue to attract new players to the game around the world, a Hasbro spokesperson told the Post. Scrabble, which is one of the world's best-known board games, has been around since 1938 and has added hundreds of new eligible words to its dictionary as the years have gone on. But, until now, the board has stayed the same all these years. The change comes ahead of National Scrabble Day on April 13th. I had no idea there was such a thing. One of those holidays that it's just like, or I guess is it a holiday? It's one of those days where you're like, really? That's a thing that exists? Okay. So Scrabble is one of the world's best-known word games, bringing people together over a board for over 75 years. The way we use words is constantly evolving, and so is Scrabble, which is why the iconic game has created a second side to the board that is collaborative and faster-paced to make gameplay more accessible, Mattel said in a press release. No, it's to make it cheaper, not to make it more accessible. I mean, Scrabble is perfectly accessible as it was, okay? I mean, you could have 5-year-olds playing the game and figuring out how to do stuff. That's totally fine. You could have people who are like, wordsmiths doing it, and that's fine too. Anyway, let's finish this off because I'm annoyed. It says new research found that almost half of Scrabble players have tried to make up a new word to try to win a game, and 75% of Scrabble players aged 25 to 34 have had to look up whether a word or not is real. It says whether or not a word is real. It says we play the original game, but change is inevitable, Brandra said. Yeah, this is unnecessary change is inevitable, I'd probably say. But yeah, I remember on Words with Friends doing these things, trying to make up a new word and having to look up whether or not the word is real. But yeah, how do you guys feel about this? Do you think this is a necessary change? And what was that picture down here? Oh, is this a video game? Because I was like, wait, that does not looks like Uncanny Valley shit. Anyway, so let me know what you think about this. I find this just to be ridiculous. Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.